H is a cold and mysterious character working at a cash truck company responsible for moving hundreds of millions of dollars around Los Angeles each week. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back into another video, and today is another Fanatic film review, and we're starting to get the content coming, flowing back again. We're gonna have another movie draft coming this week, another episode of the podcast coming this week, which is great. I'm really excited. And today we're doing another movie review. I haven't been able to watch a lot of movies because, like I've said already, I'm in Texas now. I started a new job. I just haven't had time to go see movies, but today we're back with another review, and it was a movie I was actually highly anticipating, one I was very excited about, and that is Wrath of Man. You guys already know I'm a big Guy Ritchie fan. I love Guy Ritchie. I love what he does. I love his style. I love his direction. I love his writing. Everything about him I dig. He is slowly creeping up on my list of favorite directors. He really, really is. So safe to say I was very, very excited coming into this film. And you've got Jason Statham, a very intriguing premise. I was totally in. I wanted to love this. I had a good time with it. I really did. I'm going to try to have a Guy Ritchie ranking out this week. I'm going to try. There's 2 more movies I have to watch. I just did 3. I meant 2. 2 more movies I have to watch. I'm going to try my best to get that done. If it doesn't happen, it will happen soon. But I'm going to try to do that this week. But today we're talking about The Wrath of Man. Brand new movie from Guy Ritchie. And I think without further ado, let's just get into it. So I kind of already touched on it. I'm going to touch on it again. Guy Ritchie rocks. I love his direction, his style of directing, and I love how much of a puzzle this story is. This story is a puzzle. It really, truly is. You're trying to figure out how different characters are involved in this story, and you don't really know who's responsible for the bad thing that happens that pushes Jason Statham's character towards where he's going. That was intriguing for me because you don't really find out until the end of the second act who really is the bad guy here. And I like that because for the first 2 acts, pretty much entirety of 2 acts, we are just trying to put together this puzzle of what's going on. And I really, really enjoyed that. I really liked it. I liked getting different points of view, seeing one same event happen from different perspectives. I really enjoyed that, and I really liked that about this. And Guy Ritchie, he's just the man. He's just the man, and I really enjoyed his direction, the way that he went about this film. So like I've already said before, Guy Ritchie's the man. I really enjoyed it. The next thing I want to talk about is just the action. I think the action here is really well done as well. You deal with a lot of gunplay, a lot of not really hand-to-hand combat. It's a lot more gunplay and combat like that, and it's choreographed really well. We get to see the action that's taking place in front of us, and all of that is just so well done. And it's just, again, props to Guy Ritchie and his direction. I mean, he really directed the crap out of this movie, and it has his style, but it's not plastered everywhere. And, sometimes Ritchie can get in his ways, and he can kind of plaster some of his shticks and some of his gimmicks. He didn't feel that here. He really didn't. It felt like a different film, still with Guy Ritchie flair, and I really, really liked that. But the action's kick-ass. I mean, this is a kick-ass movie. It's got some fantastic action. I mean, it's just good. It's just really, really good. Jason Statham's good. He's suave, he's smooth, but he's also badass and hardcore, and he does it in a way that no one else can. And I was having the conversation with my mom and sister in the car, and it's just like, Statham's the only one that can do it like that. No one else can do it like him. He does it very well, and I just really enjoyed it. I really did. It's just that good. It's so good, guys. I mean, he's just so good at what he does. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. And I already kind of touched on this a little bit. This is kind of the last good point I'll make here. I already kind of touched on this a little bit. It's just the puzzle pieces, the puzzle of this story. Like I already said, it's us trying to figure out who the bad guy is here. And really at this point, like up until we actually find out who it is, we don't know. Besides Statham, anyone else can be a bad guy here. And that's something that I really liked because I never knew who the bad guys were. I never knew who was in cahoots with the heisters. I never knew who the heisters were. I didn't know. And in my mind, I'm trying to figure this out. And then when we eventually get there, is it as satisfying as I wanted it to be? Maybe not. And we will talk about negatives here shortly. Is it as satisfying as I wanted it to be? Probably not. But in the end, it works out to where, in the grand scheme of the film, I was satisfied. So I love the puzzle piece of the story. I really enjoyed it was just good. I just really enjoyed it, had a good time with it. It was great. But with the good comes the bad. This is not a perfect movie at all, and I've really been trying to be, I've really tried to be more hard on movies. Nowadays, I want to, grade them, fairly. I don't just want to say that a movie's a masterpiece or I love it just because I like one specific thing. I love the action in this movie. I love Guy Ritchie's style, of his direction and his writing, but there are things that did take it away from me. And the first one is, it gets kind of convoluted at times. I think he thought he was a little more clever than he actually was. I think the villain is not as intriguing as I wanted it to be. It's kind of like I said earlier, I wasn't satisfied with the villain. It didn't click for me. I get what he was going for, but when it was revealed, the person on the inside is surprising. I didn't expect that. I was genuinely surprised by that, but the team, I just wasn't attached. I wasn't connected. I didn't hate them. You hate one person. And that is why the ending for me is so satisfying. I'm not going to get into spoilers, but you do hate one person. The ending is satisfying for that point. But the rest of that team, I really could care less. I wasn't emotionally attached. I didn't really hate them. It is what it is. And that furthers my point about being invested emotionally. A certain thing happens that is the driving force for Jason Statham's character, and it involves a person, and we don't really get a lot of time with that person. And so when the thing happens, and look, if you've seen the trailers, you know what I'm talking about, but for people that haven't, I'm going to try my best not to spoil it. You don't get to spend a lot of time with that person, so therefore when this thing happens, you're not emotionally invested. You aren't. And as much as that sucks, as much as I hate to say that, it's just true. You're not emotionally invested. So I wasn't. I was invested in the story of figuring out who the bad guys were. When we figure out who the bad guys were, I'm invested in seeing them get what's coming to them. But I'm not invested in Statham's story. I'm not invested. I love the revenge aspect. I love that he's the one that's doing it because he does it very well, and the way that he does it is done very well. But his story in particular was not invested, and that's just because we got very little time with the catalyst of this story. Very little time. Did not work that well, and it just, what can I say? It just didn't work. But I think that's pretty much it. I think we should just get into the point breakdown. So let's get into it. So entertainment. I give 25 for entertainment. I give this a 22 out of 25. Very entertaining film. There are a few points where it lulls, but overall, fairly entertaining. Performances, 17 out of 20. Statham's really good. The rest of the performances are kind of stale, I would say. That was one thing I didn't really put in the bad. The performances there were some stale performances. There was. And I didn't like a lot of them. Not many people in this were very likable, and it didn't feel authentic for a lot of the performances. But Statham, he carries a lot of weight. So 17 out of 20 for performances. I gave direction 10 out of 10. I think Ritchie's direction is just, chef's kiss. Writing 8 out of 10. It loses some points. Emotions 7 out of 10. Again, I'm not really emotionally invested, so it did lose some points. Cinematography 10 out of 10. I think it's a very nicely shot film. Pacing 4 out of 5. Like I said, there are some lull moments, so it loses a point there. Rewatchability 5 out of 5 and an automatic 5 out of 5. So we did the math. That means I gave Wrath of Man an 88 out of 100. Like I said, I enjoyed it. Kick-ass action. Some really awesome puzzle piece kind of construction of film, of the story, and it just loses some points here or there. It's not, the issues are not as glaring as I make them out to be. They just lose points in small areas because of those things that I have to say. But overall, it's a kick-ass time. It's great direction by Guy Ritchie. Jason Statham's awesome, and the script is well done except for those few little things. That's all I gotta say. But let me know down below in the comments, what did you think of Wrath of Man? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know why down below. I'd love to talk to you guys down below in the comments about that. Go check out movie drafts. We got a new episode coming out tomorrow, so I'm very excited about that. Go check out all the content over on my channel. Go follow me on Twitter. That link will be down below in the description. That is where I'm doing most of my stuff. You guys can keep track with what I'm doing at work. You can keep track with what I'm doing personally and with YouTube. All of that's on Twitter, so I'm plugging my Twitter right now. Go over to my Twitter and give me a follow. I'm a fun follow. I tweet about movies. I tweet about sports. You guys will see all my work stuff if you're interested in what I'm doing at work. I post all my work stuff on Twitter. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun over there. So that link will be down below in the description. But guys, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I know I've been in a bit of a lull lately, but I know y'all know what's going on. A lot of stuff's been changing in my life. So I appreciate y'all still being here even after this lull. But more videos are coming very soon. It's good to be back. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.